What's up, everybody? It's your favorite digger's favorite nerd, and today we are continuing with our Hercules vs. Giant comparison with Scavenger. So, this is the G1. Doesn't really roll. Mine is beat up. You see, my father probably glued and pinned that for me when I was a kid, because actually my brother broke it off. I knew he was going to break it. My mother insisted I let him play with it at the time, and he broke it. And this was the TFC one. And he does roll, which is nice. The top does not turn, and you get the crane that turns here. It extends there with the pistons that activate, and the front part bends as well, and the pistons activate. So, and you get that, and the pistons activate there as well. So there's a lot of articulation in this guy. I love how the pieces here sit over top of the treads of the treads. And only thing I'm not crazy about is the hands, the exposed hands. This one really is the only problem. I love like the diamond plating on the top of it, like just little nuances like that. The hand tucks in underneath, well hidden. Everything is tight and it looks massive. This one definitely takes the cake in alt mode, like by a long shot. So the Maketoys one does not roll. This does not turn. You do get the up and down there, and you get the back and forth here. Nothing on the actual digger itself. Hand is still exposed. I guess you could twist it maybe to like that, but then it's exposed on the side, so there's no great way to cover it up. And I don't like how this looks. And of course the hand isn't involved, and neither is the forearm, which is a problem for me. I always hated as a kid how you had to plug in the arms on here, and I thought it would always be cool if it was self-enclosed, and it is on this guy. So let's talk about the combined mode a bit. One other thing I'll mention is that, you know, there is lots of nice paint in there. So there is that. Exposed joints. With this guy, he's broken. But there was a piece that flipped down there and it plugged into the side of Devastator, and then the arm just hooked onto the top. And then you had this, and you had, you know, you could rotate here, and you could rotate here, and you could rotate there, and kind of give them the, you know, that look. And that was that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as my daughter tells me. So to get this guy into combined mode, you have to kind of untab all this, bring that out, and then close this back up if I can. And then that plugs into the shoulder, and you're saying to yourself, but I don't see a forearm. And yes, because you have to parts form this trailer. Bring these things out to the side, open that up, bring out the hand, close it up, close these up. Squeeze here, which activates, or supposed to activate that. Okay, they both do work. And push in. And there you have it. And you get, you know, well, I'll talk about Devastator's articulation at the end, but you know, that's the combined mode, and you know, it doesn't, this is not how it looked like to me. Like, you know, simple transformation to pull off, but you know, that's that. For this guy, you bring down the tracks, turn this piece here, which is like his elbow, and then these gray hinges hinge up. These pieces bend back. You can unplug the fist from the back. just had this, I think, buried in there, which this is part of his gun. We'll talk about that at Devastator. Open that up. Plug the fist in. Boom. Arm. Tracks for the forearm. All inclusive. Very nice. You get the elbow articulation here. It swivels as well for the bicep. This is the combiner port that gives you the swivel there, and then the fingers. Massive hand. You can fold that up. You can bring this around like that to kind of do that look. Very cool. Very, very cool. That's them in combine mode, and I gotta say I definitely prefer the Scavenger from TFC over the one from Maketoys by a long shot. So that's 2 out of 3. For this fella, gun or forearm off, hips down, feet around, the arms out. I'm not going to force mine because I'm not going to break it. It's been a while. He's usually in combine mode, so I'm just going to keep it there. And then head up. Now the head is on a hinge. The arms were on a swivel up, and and then the thighs are on this thing here. So you got forward and back, and then the feet switched around a bit. Let me see if I can't fix that at least. There you go. And then this stayed on his back. So, that is what it is. To do this guy, you got to unparts form the forearm, which is kind of a pain. It irritates me. Doesn't go smoothly. Free up the legs again. Get that out of the way. Rotate this up. Bring the arms down, which exposes the head, and it is kind of a cool head transformation. This is all relatively simple for Maketoys, to be honest. I say that now and then the legs lead me up. This you kind of just gotta, do that number. The neck piece swivels back and then plugs back in, and then you turn the head back around. And for the feet, there's a piece here. Let me figure out how to do it. That's the foot and the swivel. Foot, swivel. And this comes down for stabilization, so that means stabilization. Free that up, turn it around, turn the foot around. Boom. And he's a pretty good looking bot too. The head is a little, something bothers me about it. It's like a little too simple or something. And then you don't even have the option to remove this from his arm, which irritates me because I don't like it sitting up there like that. I'm just not crazy about it. Head is on a ball joint, limited down once again, but more than the other fella. Shoulders are on ball hinges, so up, down, all around. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows for transformation, getting you the full rotation. Wrist swivel. Same on the other side. No waist swivel because this thing is plugged into the back. Get that out of the way and you got it. Hips are on ball joints, standard issue. You got a rotation at the knee. You kind of got the thigh swivel, just not a lot of it. It's because of the tread. Knee gets you 90 degrees. It's actually pretty clever. And then you got a ball jointed foot, which just is really for aesthetics because it doesn't really change what the figure's actually sitting on. And he's a really cool bot, and he's like actually pretty mainlined, with the exception of this. And I love this here. It's very G1-esque. I love that there's a little bit of difference here, like the tread's going one way here, and then kind of it changes here. I dig that. I like the little breakups. He's very posable, and you know, that's pretty cool. To get this guy into robot mode, open the legs here, take the hand out, take this off for the time being, open this black piece, hinge it down, back around, free up the arms, bring the shoulders down, and I don't know if this comes out of his hand and can go anywhere you want. You gotta twist these to get them lined up right, and twist that. And it's just, you know, the elbow works one way, so self-explanatory. Push that up, chest piece up, turn that around, do the opposite of the legs, bring them like this, as you did for combine mode. Bring these down. I guess it's got to be like that. And the feet, let me see if I can't remember how to do the feet. Oh well. Head up. There it is. Just don't have the nails. Might need to hold on a second. There. Had to just pull on those pieces there to get these down. They're geared together, so they'll come down together. And then this can, it might not be, I guess that goes like that. If you need to have it on, and otherwise there's not much to do with that, and that is a bit of a problem, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, that's him, and not a bad looking bot. This looks good. The head looks good. The proportions get a little weird in the legs, but they're not hateful. Head is on a ball joint, nothing down, but everything else is good to go. Nice light piping. Shoulders swivel here and hinge here and there, so you get, you know, just about everything you could possibly want. Bicep swivel, elbow to 90 degrees, a little bit past. Wrist swivel, same on the other side. Waist swivel. Hips are on ball joints, and the ball joints do hinge due to transformation, so you can actually, you know, you can get a lot out of him as a result of that, even though I'm not a big fan of ball joints on hips. Thigh swivel, knee gets you way past 90 degrees, and then the toes, you know, the feet get you this, but you couldn't really use it, so nothing really there. You know, it does, I mean, he can use this as a weapon, I guess. No, he can't. So there's nothing really to do with this, you know, and that does, oh no, you can put it on his arm. See? Now I think that looks redonkulous, but you have that option. I would probably just take it off and put it to the side. And then there's nothing really to do with the hand either, except you can ball it back up and put it on his back as like a backpack thing. And you have the option, which is nice, but I would never probably do that either. So overall, this guy wins in alt mode, and this guy wins in combine mode, in my opinion. And this guy kind of wins in robot mode. But I like the size of this guy, and he's not hateful. It's not terrible. He doesn't win by a landslide, this guy in robot mode. He just takes the cake. He's always going to have this combiner port / forearm thing hanging off his back. The only one it kind of works in is alt mode, but then it still has to hook up to the trailer to do all that nonsense. It's just like, it's just hindersome. This guy is just not as smooth all around, you know, but everything is very simple. It kind of works. This one's a tough call because there's things about both that are great. Like the amount of distance that he wins by in his alternate modes is far more than the amount that he wins by in robot mode, if that makes any sense. Like we're talking about in robot mode like an 8 and a 6. And then in alt mode, we're talking about like a 10 and a 7. And then in combine mode, we're talking about a 10 and a 5. Do you know what I mean? And this guy, you know, he just is awesome for being him. But it doesn't make this a bad figure, you know, not in the least. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care. Scavenger. You know, he's with the guy with the big digger, big digging arm.
Digs it out.
Digs it out. You know, I relate to that a little bit. I've always kind of related to him. You know,
Where's his position in the team, in the group?
he's an arm.
Okay.
I probably use him
Strong, does work.
Yeah, well, the other one's a bulldozer, so they both are kind of strong and do work. Now, one thing that's interesting is that on the Giant, you know, the treads are up on the shoulders, but on the Hercules, the treads form the forearms. So one of them has bigger shoulders, and one of them has bigger forearms. I've always been known as a guy with pretty broad shoulders. My forearms are, you know, they're decent. My right one's bigger than my left.
Why is that?
Masturbation, mainly. I'll tell you what, it was out of control when I was a kid. Can I be honest with you? When I came into sexual maturity, I mean, I used to have to put myself on a schedule where I did no more than once an hour. I didn't think I was going to be able to have children. You should have seen every T-shirt and sock in there. It was stiff enough to wash your clothes on. You could use it as a clipboard, as a hardback to draw on. You could use it if you had a posture problem. Sit in your back, keep your back nice and straight. You could use it as a stabilization technique if you had a back injury to kind of keep you rigid. You could use it as a level. You know, while you're doing some construction on the home, just sit a sock, one of Skullface's empty socks up on the thing, keep it level while you're building. But, you know, you could use it as a shovel if you like just, you know, slowly bent one end up, just dig, you know, pull some ground out. You could probably fold it up into a piece of origami, a little swan sock. Yeah, you could use it as a cutting board, put your chicken on it, cut the fat off the chicken, you know. I mean, what's worse, my semen or salmonella?
That was pretty good. Can you use that?
I think so.